What we wanted to do here, you'll recall this morning when we started talking about solutions pursuant to capacity building and the kinds of examples of things that people were doing. I've heard a lot of commentary about that. One was, wow, that turned out differently than I had anticipated, and that is in a good way. The definition of what it is that we need to do to build capacity such that it supports the advancement of all of our institutions is broad and diverse, and I think that's important. From that process, there was some 20 tables that participated in that, and there are over, I'm going to guess, I haven't counted them all here, but I'm going to say there's about 60 pages of notes, which I think is really, really valuable. And so we're going to, if you were either here in the room or you're on and participating by webcast, all of that is going to be made available to you. Now, keep in mind that right now these are raw notes, but I think that that's the important thing, is to have this as a stimulus and a reminder of what it was that was said at the various tables. So I think that's really important. They'll be posted on the conference website, I'm told, and we'll be able to have those as well. But before we, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read every single bullet on these 60 pages. Oh, you were listening. I see. No, I'm not. Because that would be fun. Can't think of anything you'd rather do more than listen to me talk for, it'd be about 11:45 tonight. We'd be done. No, what I wanted to do was ask folks who didn't necessarily have a chance to reflect on their observations or the conversations that they had at their tables right now, if there was anything from those conversations that you wanted to add in terms of some of the solutions that had been developed and that you shared in terms of capacity building and sharing knowledge and information, economies of scale, etc. It's okay if you don't, but if you do, here's your an opportunity to share with folks. Otherwise, I'm reading the paper. Just back here. Is it Sabet? I can't tell from here.
I have to go based on my memory. Some of the things, the successes that we observed was, for example, there's government community service officers that have been established through the Department of Executive. They've hired, I think it was 17 local people based in the communities to provide all kinds of information on government services and to help community people. And a lot of them speak the language, so can provide that. Other initiatives include providing orientation for new counselors, new decision makers that come on, so that they fully understand their role and responsibilities and provide good, effective direction. Other examples include, and we had some real good ones, geez. Other ones include other ones that I can remember is, for example, impact benefit agreements, because in another life I used to work with a diamond mine and my responsibility was implementing impact benefit agreements. Communities and groups negotiate really good impact benefit agreements, but my experience is that it's not always fully realized, and I think there needs to be a concerted effort to go back and look at what are the terms and conditions and take advantage of those opportunities that are spelled out in there to help you develop the capacity. Other ones include attending workshops and other training initiatives. Whenever the opportunities arise, I realize it costs money to attend these things, but sometimes the investment, it's not necessarily, and no disrespect to the organizers here. I found this really interesting and a lot of learning, but there's also a lot that happens away, like the networking that happens, the contacts you develop is really effective, and you can't do that if you're not there in person. So that's also very effective as a capacity development. Certifications and things like that, I think people need to be supported. But one of the things that everybody talked about was you need support from all levels. You need support from other people. You need support from your team. You need support from the decision makers. But basically, as a whole, you need support. And the other point that was made was work in a team setting. Because if you're one person working on one thing, you bring a certain set of skills to that task. But if you bring 5 people, a team of 5 people, you're bringing 5 more additional skills and abilities to that task. And by bringing in more people, you help them develop their own capacity, their own skills. So those are just some of the things that I remember.
Excellent. Well, that's good, Sibeth. Thank you. And the other good part of that is that table's notes are with us over here, so we'll be able to capture that, which I'm not going to read for you because that was way better. Others? Certainly.
The back row are usually not public speakers, so bear with us. Our group here worked on building capacity through identifying a community need and to coming up with solutions for that need, suggestions through community engagement. So we're all going to take turns doing our little bit. Our theme was in Betchacon. The need is a lack of recreational facility, and how do we resolve that? So to get a facility up and running. The first thing we do to combat that is
okay. When we brought up lack of recreational facilities in Betchacon, it's been so many years since it was closed due to renovation, and then when we have the sportsplex in English, it's sportsplex, but in Tlinchon it's Kongocho. Kongocho meaning big building. So Kon is the house, and Gocho is it's a big, it's something huge. So when we want to fill our house with the whole community, we want to involve the community people, not only elders or parents, but especially the youth and the children, because it was for them that we wanted to continue to rebuild, and that's part of building capacity. So when we have to build capacity, we have to involve everyone in the community, and it's important that they have a say. And if they want to value the recreation development in the community of Betchacon, they have to be part of the decision-making in helping us, in supporting us, not only for recreational in other cultural, but for our traditional way of life and our traditional games and our beliefs. So the next person, so who?
See what I say? We're not public speakers. Okay, after we get community support through community engagement, we need to establish a group of various community people, and so we put together a recreation committee, and so that everybody, again, is involved, included.
Okay, my name is Johnny Whelan. I'm from Bichicon. Regarding that recreation facility, we'll be designing this recreation facility that will fit our own community and involvement with our cultural aspect. We'll be doing like snowshoe making. Once the snowshoe is made, we'll be teaching our youth, all different ages, how to use it. And drum making. And we'll be training our different age group how to drum and use it like we'll teach them how to sing along with the drum in our traditional way. And we'll teach them how to do muskrat skinning, duck plucking, and show them how to cut up ducks also. And with all these drum making and whatnot, we'll show them how to play hand game. It's already been done, but for the youngers, we'll teach them how to play hand game. And drum dances, traditional songs with them, and we'll do some pull push, that's just like a tug of war, and snow snake, where you throw on a ground snow, see who throws the farthest. That's what we'll be doing once we get our sportsplex up to standard.
Hi, my name is Louisa, and we had funny problems, not funny problems, but we started off with to do the renovation. We asked our local government for fundings, and we start writing proposal to federal and GNWT governments and organizations, and also we did fundraising to do the renovation, and we did that, and we got all financial covered, and we are successful in finding all the fundings, and I'm glad to say we will be opening our facility this summer.
That's great. Excellent. Do you have a little bit more there?
Yeah. We were talking about how the Sportsplex was going to meet the needs of our community members. So the outcome that we discussed was that the recreational facility will also help our community members address social issues like the ones that our Chief Clifford Daniels previously mentioned before. And not only will it help us to address those social issues, it's also going to promote healthy lifestyle for people of all ages. And now the youth will have a place to practice various sports such as volleyball, soccer, and things like that, and be able to compete confidently in sports tournament as it comes out. And the facility will also promote cultural activities such as drumming, hand game, drum dances, and those kind of things like that are very important to our people. And also, the Sportsplex is going to more than likely become the focal point of our community, because it'll probably be the biggest building in our community. And also, too, not only is it going to be a biggest building in our community, it's also going to promote capacity building, because our community members will be trained to run and operate the sportsplex. And you know, this sportsplex is going to be a place for people of all ages that our community members have needed for so long. Thank you.
Well, that's great. Congratulations on doing that, and thanks for sharing that with us. That's a right from the ground up bit of capacity building. And did you see what they did there? They built capacity right in the group. They said that they were back row people, but they gave us exactly the kind of information that we need. So thank you for doing it that way too. Really appreciate that. Got one more over here.
Administrators. We talked about the training programs that are available and the different public administrators that we have at the federal, territorial, Aboriginal governments, municipal governments, etc. Now I think particularly for the senior public administrators that are based at central communities like Yellowknife, Inuvik, so forth, here in the north. I think those people that are in the senior positions have to understand and learn the cultural tradition and the way of life of the region that they're serving, i.e. the Clean region. Yesterday, you heard from John B. when he did a cosmology of our area. And people, like even the senior bureaucracy here in Yellowknife, I don't think some of them have ever been to the nearest, largest Clean community, Butchercon. You know, they don't even know what our way of life and our tradition and culture is. Yesterday, John B. mentioned how when people are shooting their rifles coming into the community. We do that at our annual gathering when the canoes are coming in. They shoot. And for people around from this conference will know where that came from, because John B. explained it yesterday. So it's very important for me, for the public administrators to learn from various regions, from the Sahtu, the Gwich'in, Inuvialuit. If you're working in those areas, learn their tradition, culture, and their way of life, so that you have that understanding. And I note even when those people were talking about the programs available for the students that are available, there's got to be that type of component built in there for them, so that if they're placed in Fort Smith, they got to learn that area. If they're placed in Inuvik, they got to learn the Inuvialuit traditions or Gwich'in. So I just wanted to make that comment, because I've noted that during the last 2 days when we were talking how we're going to integrate and learn as public administrators how to better ourselves. So that's a comment I wanted to make. Merci.
Thanks, Henry. Yeah. Very good. And it's true, to build our capacity as public administrators working inside institutions and organizations, there are the, and I'll call them the standard, as opposed to traditional, the standard ways of building the skill sets that we need to serve the people that we're employed to serve. But then there's the idea that we can learn from those people such that we're delivering services in a way that meets their needs, and our capacity can be built by sharing in the capacity of others, particularly those that we serve. I want to thank folks again this morning and this afternoon for sharing those stories. Today was all about capacity building. And sometimes, you know, you work through a process and you hear words. I've heard capacity building spoken of a lot, and it's become, you know, sometimes we make buzzwords out of things. But what I saw today was really inspiring. And again, just like yesterday, it's a renewing kind of feeling to come to one of these kinds of conferences and to learn from folks that there are solutions out there, that there are solutions that have worked, that there are solutions that can be shared, and the willingness to share those solutions, and the depth of pride that people have in the work that they've done in their own communities in supporting the institutions, whatever those institutions might be, is fascinating. And I've again learned a whole lot today, just like yesterday. I really appreciate the ability of folks to share those ideas with us. And if I had one recommendation for the organizers of the conference, is that somehow we figure out how to do more of this as well, because I think that people were engaged and really proud of the things that they had to share. Really excellent effort to bring those things to light and to share them, whether in panels or in the conversations. So not to forget the banquet tonight and the additional elements that will be part of that banquet. That sounds like fun. And another opportunity to get together and share those things that we've spoken of today. Not to forget our folks that joined us by webcast. We'll be back here tomorrow morning. And